So skin tone is hard to mix, and so I'm going to show you what to do. Generally, people add too much white and don't add any complementary colors to tone it down, so it ends up being too vibrant. So you're going to want to try to mix this like highlighty kind of color, a mid value, and then all of these darkest shadow colors, which are actually pretty grayed out. So I want you to take a minute and check out your skin tone. Everyone's is different, but one thing is for sure, you're gonna have so many different colors going on in your skin. Use every color on your palette. Look at how grayed out this is. There's a lot of blue in these shadows, and even some like weird gray areas around my eyes. It's very important to pay attention to the light structure when you're painting a portrait, and don't get too caught up in the color. This is the sort of light scale that I just pre-mixed. I looked at my face. I tried to mix neutral dark, a little bit lighter, warm dark, real kind of middling gray, and then some brighter colors for the highlights. I try to stick with my big brush as long as possible to avoid getting too finicky with things. I mixed up my colors. I'm going to be using the thinner and the oil paint and working pretty thinly at this point still, just to make sure I have things mapped out in the way that I want them. I'm going through and identifying the lights and the darks. A certain color on your brush, you're going to look throughout your entire face and lay it anywhere that you see that value or color. That way you're constructing the painting throughout and building it up all over instead of working in one little tiny area and then moving on to the next. I'm gonna let myself switch to a smaller brush now. One thing I recommend at this point when you're like, oh, okay, I got everything pretty well laid out, is to hold up your painting in a mirror, because you will it'll allow you to see any errors in your proportions and spacing.
Remember, there is nothing like a palette knife and a rag to pull some of those areas together and kind of looking at the planes of the face and defining things. Don't be afraid to make a mess. For the lips, really look at the shadows around the entire lip structure as well as just the lips. Usually that top lip is going to be darker than the bottom lip, and there'll be a shadow underneath the lips where that bottom lip casts a shadow right above the chin. I'm really trying to break down the face into the shadow area and the light area. And if you get kind of lost, just pull it back to that place where you're seeing the light hit your face and where you're seeing the shadows fall.
So remember I said something about faces going wonky? I got that eye in the wrong spot. So I am just going to, oh man, kind of dried in the meantime, dang it. I'm gonna rub it, scratch it right out of there. Or try, darn. Oil paint always dries too fast when you want it to stay wet. I'm gonna move that eye. If this paint were wet, it would have wiped right off.
So I'm totally gonna blame my glasses for that. You know, the glasses are in the way. The reason I'm holding off on painting the glasses is because I want them to go over the face. So I'm still gonna hold off, but I am just blocking it out. I'm actually taking my glasses off so I can see all this area better, but just more obscured by the glasses. And I'm
And just moving it over.
the temptation to put your pupils in your eye, your nostrils in there is going to be really hard to resist. But I can't stress enough that you wait till the very end for those things. You don't want to get too attached, because if they're not in the right place, it's going to look real weird.
Here's a close-up of where my painting is now. I tried to scooch that eye over. That's the eye I'm working on, that eye on the right. But you can see I'm painting the irises, but not the pupils.
I have totally fallen down a rabbit hole with this painting, and right now I really, really don't like it. So, but I just wanted to show you guys color-wise what things I've been using the most of. I'm actually going to start again and kind of try to go back to the basics with a big brush. Here's my palette from before, and I just want you to know that the two colors I've used the most of are the ultramarine, well, aside from white, is the ultramarine blue and the burnt umber. Like, really, it's about value development, not about that local color.